continue with our class Kosher Kitchen, and we start with Sefer Chofetz Chaim, and big topic is the same, constructive listening, and today's topic is a matter of intent. Okay, so let's see. While listening to negative information for constructive purpose is not violation of the prohibition against accepting Lashon Hara. Before taking any liberty of listening to such information, one must be sure that he will not be guilty of causing the speaker to sin. Okay, so let's read one more time and try to understand. While listening to negative information for constructive purpose, meaning that you're allowed to listen, you ask this person, let's say about shidduch, and you need some information, and you actually told them that you're inquiring about shidduch. So far so good. Okay. While listening to negative information for constructive purpose is not violation of prohibition against accepting Lashon Hara. So listening and accepting two separate things. Okay, so far so good. Okay. Before taking any liberty of listening to such information, one must be sure that he will not be guilty of causing the speaker to sin, meaning not to put a stumbling block in front of the blind, not to provoke that person. Continue. We have seen that in order to convey the pertinent information that would otherwise be considered Lashon Hara, several conditions must be met. For example, the speaker's intent must be to bring about the positive result. Positive result does not mean that he's not going to say like only things positive, right? Positive result meaning to alleviate the doubt of that person who is asking us, for example, with the speaker question, right? To help him to prevent some kind of damage, right? Okay, so that's a positive result. Okay, next one. If the speaker does not have to constructive intent, his words are Lashon Hara, despite the fact that information is important to the listener to hear. So meaning this, so one more time, if the speaker does not have a constructive intent meaning that we hate that person for whatever reason, and somebody asks us about our opinion about that person, about his personality, so we're not allowed to answer. We're not allowed, right? We're not allowed to answer because whatever we said is not going to be for constructive purpose, but because of the, I mean, it is, even if it's going to be like for the benefit of the other person, that he's going to hear the truth, but our intent is not constructive. Our intent is to degrade that person, right? So when say if the speaker does not have constructive intent, his words are Lashon Hara, right? So it's very important, despite the fact the information is important to the listener to hear. So as we see, it depends of our intent. It's very, very interesting, right? In such a case, being a listener would be transgressor of before the blind person do not play stumbling block. Vayikra 19:14. Meaning what? That if you know that person hates that person that we're inquiring about, so we're not allowed to ask that person. Could you please mute your microphone, please? Sorry. Thank you. Yeah, could you please mute it? Okay. If one is privately, so it's very interesting. So we're not allowed. So even that person would have the most amount of information, we're not allowed to ask him. Why? Because animosity between them. If one is privately doing business with someone, and then by coincidence a friend begins speaking Lashon Hara about that very individual, one is required to interrupt him and walk away. Okay. Since the speaker is unaware that the listener is doing business with this person, the speaker is talking Lashon Hara and must be stopped. After interrupting him, one may tell him that the information he had begun to relate may be important to the listener, and that he may continue speaking, provided that he can honestly relate it for the constructive purpose only. So, I mean, it's a little hypothetical case, but let's try to understand anyway. Very interesting. So one more time. If one is privately doing business with someone, and then, so nobody knows that I have a business with somebody else, then the third person comes, and he does not know that I have some kind of relationships with that person, right, whom he is about to talk about. So meaning, maybe this information is pertinent to me. Maybe I would find out that that person is a crook, that I'm dealing business, and he just playing nice until he wants to do some damage, right? Okay, to me, right? So very, very possible. So one more time. If one is privately doing business with someone, and then by coincidence a friend begins speaking Lashon Hara about that very individual, so he does not know that it's for me it's constructive listening, right? Okay, so he start speaking Lashon Hara. One is required to interrupt him or walk away. So first of all, it's in general, even if I would not have any business with that person, we have to stop him or walk away. That's how you stop. Meaning, if nobody listening, so hopefully if he's a normal person, he's going to stop. Continue. Since the speaker is unaware that the listener is doing business with this person, the speaker is talking Lashon Hara and must be stopped. So even though the information might be permissible to me to hear, because I must know what to expect from that person, from my business partner, let's say, but this person, the speaker, does not know, right? I must stop him. After interrupting him, one may tell him the information he had begun to relate may be important to the listener, and then we said, you know what, stop right here. So I want to tell you, I'm in a business with this guy right now. I want to ask you a question. And you start asking questions, and he continue to give over this information that he started before, but now it's going to be for constructive purpose. Okay. So one more time. After interrupting him, one may tell him that the information he had begun to relate may be important to the listener, right? And that he may continue speaking provided that he can honestly relate it for that constructive purpose only, right? So you ask him to relate for constructive purpose only, and for me it's constructive because this and that. Very interesting. Okay. Stop here. Any questions on what we said? Okay, no problem. So we continue with kosher kitchen. We're in chapter 8, chapter about the knives. It's very, very long chapter. Wow, it's very, very long chapter. And so we started with the scenarios when everything is cold, right? A knife is cold and food is cold. Then second scenario we went through when one of them is hot, when food is hot or knife is hot. What is hot? When your hand recoils. And now the third scenario we're going to discuss when knife is used to cut sharp food, Davar Charif. So as we spoke before, there is a different category of this Davar Charif, meaning like onions, garlic, and the like. Right. So let's see from the beginning and we explain. The header is already acquainted. The reader. The reader is already acquainted with the special ability of duka besakina, the pressure of the knife, to facilitate the transition of the taste. So we said that's how knife is different. Okay. We have also noted the unique ability of Davar Charif, the sharp food, to absorb and to transmit taste in a manner unlike that any other food. Right? We said even after some time passed. In this section, we will examine the distinctive halachas that govern the combination, right, of these two unique factors. There is a pressure of the knife and sharp foods. The Davar Charif interacts with dukkha besakina of a knife to affect the taste to the taste transfer in cases where either factor on its own would be ineffective. Okay, so it's like introduction. So let's do this introduction again, and of course we cover some of these things, but just to remind us, so we have we're ready for all of the other details. So one more time. The reader already acquainted with the special ability of dukkha besakina, meaning when we cut something, so we have to apply pressure, and this pressure, in some sense, like the way I always imagine, like it presses the taste into the blade of the knife. So, for example, when you take something with a spoon, there is no pressure. When you eat soup or whatever you eat, cereal, whatever you eat, there is no pressure whatsoever. So there is no transfer of the taste. But when you press something, when you cut, that's a totally different story. So this is called dukkha besakina. Okay, pressure of the knife. To facilitate, so this the pressure of the knife to facilitate the transfer of the taste. So we said that's why we have the whole separate chapter about the knives, because of this issue. We have also noted the unique ability of Davar Charif. So before that we did not discuss it, of course, about the knives, but we were talking about the other utensils, right, that were used to cook this Davar Charif. Or to store Davar Charif, sharp foods, to absorb and to transmit the taste in a manner unlike any other foods. Okay, so that's also exception. So these sharp foods. Okay. In this section, we'll examine the distinctive Halachah governed combination. So as we said later on. When one of them, maybe it's not going to be a factor, but combination of two. When somebody used this knife to cut onions, right, or cut garlic also. So it's in other words, it's a meat knife. For example, it's a meat knife that we use to cut garlic, and now can we use it even after 24 hours? Right, to cut something that we're planning to use with the dairy, in a dairy meal, or cut daily. So we said when it's cold in the first scenario, there is no problem. After the fact is the knife 24 hours and was not used for a sharp foods, there is no problem, like you can eat. But in this case, when it was used for onions and garlic, the story is totally different. Okay, so now we say when the two of these what is it, distinctive, the two of the things come together, unique factors. Okay, there is what was unique, the pressure of the knife and the sharp food. Okay, Davar Charif interacts with the dukkha besakina of a knife to affect the taste transfer in cases where their factor on its own will be ineffective. So as we said before, one factor by itself, just the knife by itself, or just the sharp foods by itself, there is no factor, there is no transfer of the taste. But two of them together, meaning the knife that cut these onions, that's a problem. Okay, so let's see. First one, Davar Charif is as a substitute to heat. So, and we actually just to remind us, we said before when you apply pressure, so in some sense it is a heat, in some sense, halachically. Under normal circumstances, taste is transmitted or is absorbed only through heat, right? Ordinarily, neither the pressure of the knife alone nor the sharpness of Davar Charif alone can cause the transfer of the taste. For example, a cold dairy spoon used to take horseradish from the jar does not affect the remaining horseradish in the jar in horseradish in a jar. Initially, okay, 1 second. Sorry, what is it? Does not affect the remaining horseradish in a jar. Okay, so meaning it did not become dairy. Initially, one should use a part of spoon, of course, yes. Similarly, a potato cut with a dairy knife may be rinsed and eaten with meat, right, as we said before. So, of course, especially when we said if it was not used for more than 24 hours. Meat. However, when a dairy knife or a non-kosher knife is used to cut Davar Charif, for example, radish, the combination of the pressure of the knife and sharpness of the food causes the taste of the knife to be absorbed into the food. So now this food becomes the taste of the knife. So even as we said before, like, I don't know, that's a long time ago, even if a knife was not used for 24 hours, that's an exception. Okay, so let's do this paragraph again, and we're going to explain. So one more time. Under normal circumstances, so Davar Charif as a substitute to the heat. So we explained it. Under normal circumstances, taste is transferred or absorbed through the heat, right? Through the heat, for example, we said even milk and meat together, if it just touch each other, technically, if it's not fat, not this, not that, so it's not a big deal. So you can just rinse it and there is no problem. But if it was heat, one of them was hot, so for sure the transfer of the taste. I mean, it's in general, everywhere. Okay, ordinarily neither the pressure of the knife alone, nor the sharpness of Davar Charif alone can transfer the taste, right? For example, if we said if knife was clean, right, and we discussed, I don't remember last time or the time before that. So we said that one of the questions that was asked was knife clean. Okay, maybe let's say it was used in the past 24 hours, but was it clean, right? So in case of the cold food, we said after the fact, it's not a big deal, right? After the fact, but we also discussed. How do you know that a knife was clean or not? Can you presume that it was clean and stuff like that? Okay. So one more time. Ordinarily, neither the pressure of the knife that was clean, right? So if it has residue, it's a different story. Right? Pressure of the knife alone, or sharpness of Davar Charif, it just lay in a plate or something, right? Alone. Cause the transfer of the taste. I mean, okay, so like we have let's say you have a milk pot, right, dairy pot, and you put onions there. Okay, nothing happened. So do the onions become absorb the taste of the dairy? No, they don't. Okay. So let's see the example. For example, cold dairy spoon used to take a horseradish from a jar does not affect the remaining of the horseradish in a jar. So horseradish, of course, we know it's a sharp food. So you take it with a dairy spoon. Of course, it's not proper. You have to use the powder spoon, but after the fact. So you took it, but the rest of the horseradish became unaffected, meaning it powder. Okay, of course it's clean spoon. And even if it was less, it was of course if it's clean and less was used in less than 24 hours, no problem. Okay, of course after the fact. Similarly, a potato cut with a dairy knife may be rinsed and eaten with the meat. Okay, no problem. Continue. However, when a dairy knife or a non-kosher knife is used to cut Davar Charif, for example, radish, the combination, so knife, the pressure of the knife, and the nature of the food, the combination of the pressure and the knife and the sharpness of the food causes the taste of the knife to absorb into the food. So now this was what? This non-kosher knife or dairy knife. So now this radish is going to be what? Is going to be dairy radish. Right? Dairy. So you cannot eat this radishes, for example, in a salad with your chicken. Okay. So continue. So that's why as I always say, I have 3 different knives. One dairy knife, I mean, just by set, right? One dairy knife, one or 2 dairy knives, 3 parve knives, and meat knives, and that's it. That's the solution. Okay. So second scenario, Davar Charif in conjunction with non-ben-yomo. Okay, here we go. So Davar Charif meaning the sharp foods, conjunction with non-ben-yomo meaning that this knife was not used in the past 24 hours. So I mean, in all other cases, it would be the most lenient case, the most lenient result, but not here. Okay, so let's see. Normally, the taste absorbed into the vessel for 24-hour period loses the potency and loses the ability to transmit the non-kosher status. See chapter 3. Thus, the potato cooked in a non-kosher pot that was not used for hot food during the previous 24 hours, non-ben-yomo, may be eaten. A Davar Charif, however, revitalize the absorbed taste in the vessel and endows it with a potency to permeate into the food. For example, a radish cooked in non-ben-yomo non-kosher pot may not be eaten. Similarly, the radish cooked in a non-ben-yomo meat pot may not be eaten with dairy foods. This principle applies to a knife as well. A radish cut with a non-kosher knife is prohibited despite the fact that the knife was not used during the previous 24 hours. Okay, so let's stop here and try to understand this case, even though we already spoke about it before, but let's make sure that we understand all of the details. So one more time, Davar Charif in conjunction non-ben-yomo. Okay. Non-ben-yomo meaning more than 24 hours. So one more time. Normally the taste absorbed into vessel for a 24-hour period loses the potency and loses the ability to transmit non-kosher status. Non-kosher or opposite status. I mean, it's like meaning maybe dairy status or meat status. Okay, so we said, just to remind us, so after 24 hours, of course it was clean. So just to remind us, yeah, we're talking about clean vessel that was washed and was not used for more than 24 hours. If it's still dirty, that's of course, right? Nothing changed. But after 24 hours, it loses the taste that absorbed into the walls of the vessel, become like garbage. Okay, so meaning it's not, so garbage meaning it's not no longer dairy or it's no longer meat. It's something spoiled. Okay, continue. Thus, a potato cooked in a non-kosher pot that was not used for hot food during previous 24 hours, non-ben-yomo, may be eaten. So, of course, we don't do that, but after the fact, and that's what we tell people who wants to go kosher, and we say, we always tell them you have to go kosher in one jump. Right, so until you're ready, 100%, and that's like you start buying things. So not everybody can afford it. I mean, some people can, somebody cannot. Right, to afford to kosher the kitchen in next week, for example. Right, so what do we tell them? You start preparing the things that you're not going to kosher for sure, like plates, cups, and other things. Right, if need to. Some of them you can kosher, some they do not need to be kosher. I mean, they would need to be kosher, but and dip in the mikveh and stuff like that. But whatever you're planning to replace, just start piling up. But until then, don't feel bad, because why? Because exactly this rule, right? So after you have not used this the pot for 24 hours, so yeah, you did not kosher, or you planning to throw this pot out, but technically, so it's not like you, if you start buying all of the food kosher, you're not violating anything. Of course, it's not according to all of the standards. Of course, it's not what you're supposed to do, but technically, it's not so bad. That's what I'm trying to say. Continue. Right. So he said the example that we just gave. Somebody ate cooked potatoes in a pot that was not previously used for hot foods. So meaning for cold food, for storage, there is no problem. But I would say that if it was, let's make it simple. So there was the pot, this non-kosher pot, and it was cleaned for 24 hours. Let's put it this way. Okay, so you cook your potatoes. So technically you can eat these potatoes. Okay. And of course the same, again, we do not do that, but the same if you did not use this daily pot for 24 hours, and then you cook potatoes, like you forgot, you this, you that, whatever happened. So technically after the fact you can use this potato with meat. Okay, no problem. Continue. Davar Charif, however, revitalizes the absorbed taste into the vessel and endows it with the potency to permeate into the food. Right? But Davar Charif, meaning what? This sharp, you start cooking onions, or like frying onions, or whatever you do, this garlic, so it's going to absorb the taste that, according to what we said before, it's like a garbage. So it's no longer garbage, it's actually taste that was absorbed into the vessel, into the walls of the vessel again. So that's of course dangerous, right? And now this taste is going to come out of these walls and going to be absorbed into the food. So this potato, like potato with onions, let's say, I'm just making up, right? So it's going to be 100% daily if you cooked in a daily pot. Okay. The food. For example, radish cooked in a non-ben-yomo, non-kosher pot may not be eaten. Okay, so they give a little different example, but okay. So radish that is cooked non-ben-yomo pot, cooked meaning with a heat, of course, that's how we understand cook. So it's going to absorb this non-kosher taste from the walls of this pot, and now the radish becomes not kosher. Because of what? Because of the pot. Even the pot was not used for a day. I'm not sure if it's any limit if they have not used this pot, for example, for a year. Right? Year is one of the qualification, but let's say 13 months, 14 months, right? Is it food still not kosher? That's a good question. I said I don't think so. I think you would be able to eat, but maybe not. Let's see. Okay. So let's see. Similarly, a radish cooked in a non-ben-yomo meat pot, meaning that it was cleaned for more than 24 hours. Meat pot may not be eaten with daily foods. So okay, that's very straightforward. Okay, why? Because even though it was cleaned for 2 days, 3 days, so this radish actually revived the taste. This principle applies to the knife as well. Okay, but with knife we said that there is no need to cook, right? Just apply the pressure. That's in some sense it's like a cooking. Okay, as well. A radish cut with non-kosher knife is prohibited despite the fact that the knife was not used during the previous 24 hours. So one more time, the radish cut with a non-kosher knife. So meaning that the taste from the knife went into the radish. So cannot be used even though we have not used knife for the past 24 hours. Continue. Actually, no, it's a little different topic. Any questions on what we said so far? Before I continue. Yes, go ahead.
first question, the word says, Shalom Raf, if a radish stored in a non-ben-yomo, non-kosher pot, does it become non-kosher automatically? How long does it take for the radish to become non-kosher?
No, only through heat. So we said only through heat. So if it's cold and cold, so you have I don't know, like non-kosher containers, storage container. Let's say it was used for non-kosher food, and now you put a radish there. There is no problem with the radish. So only through heat, or as we said, through cutting with a knife. So let's I use it for myself just to remember. So cutting with a knife, it's like heat. So yeah, so it's only in this circumstance. If cold and cold, there is no problem. What else? Okay. So let's. Any other question, or we'll continue? Okay, no problem. Let's continue. So, so it says in this section. So again, it's only after the fact. So we try keep part of with part of meat with meat, milk with milk, knife with knife. So it's easier. So like the way we do it, for example, so meat, or like we would have we have storage containers. We have rectangular containers. So we know it's for meat, right? And doesn't matter what kind of covers there. So sometimes we have it for many years. So sometimes you have to replace the lid. But I mean, who cares? Like we go by the shape. So if it's rectangular, or right, so it is meat. So but if it's round, it is part of. So of course we're going to put fish in this round ones. So that's how a person has to organize. Of course, you can use your other other imagination, but I think since containers, if you buy a set, for example, if you buy glass containers, okay, because they better for health, right? So you can put them in a microwave, you can put them in a stove. Some of them you can put them in a freezer, right? I mean, you buy them once, and you don't have all of these things from plastic, so it's good. It's old style, so I like old style, right? This glass, right? For storage. So I mean, this glass is glass. So you would not remember, even though you put you bought it with a different color lids, you're not going to remember. You're going to mess up. It's only a matter of time. But if it's different shapes, it's hard to mess up. Right? And for dairy, so we have only a few containers, but they have totally different shape, totally different shape and totally different lids. So it's impossible to make mistakes. So whatever you do, whatever is good for you, what would remind you what is what, so that's good. Whatever is good. Continue. In this section, we'll discuss the following. Okay. Which food are considered Davar Charif? Okay, so I think we discussed before. Oh, no, actually we did not. We actually, I think, jump to this page, right? Long time ago, they referred to this page. I remember, right? Next one: the distinction between clean knife and soiled knife as affecting Davar Charif. Actually, we also discussed it a little more, before that. The soiled knife. So in some cases, we said that you must kosher, even it was cold and cold. So if you cut, let's say cold meat with a dairy knife, and you left this knife cold and cold, and you left this knife for some period of time, so you have to kosher the knife. So if you wash it right away, there is no problem. So let's say to simplify, the knife was not non-ben-yomo, right? So if you did not wash it right away from it, that's the issue. You have to kosher. Continue, next one. Practical halachas pertaining to the sharp foods cut with dairy meat or non-kosher knife. In order to facilitate In order to facilitate discussion of this subject, we will use the example of the meat knife that was used to cut radish. Okay, so it's like, as I said, just an example. May the radish subsequently be eaten with the milk or cheese. Okay, so with the meat knife we cut radish. Okay, the same halacha applies in reverse situations. Okay, so let's see. Number one. So we're going to discuss all of the 3 points. So the first point was definition of Dvar Charif. Just let me quickly see. I just want to make sure that I don't miss the notes. Okay. So Dvar Charif. A. Radishes and other sharp food. The Talmud, when discussing the Halachos Dvar Charif, uses this example of a radish. So I mean, there is more sharper, I think, than the radish. I think, my personal opinion. Right? So that garlic is more sharp than radish. But okay. 1 second. So it said, the commentary say. So as you see there, who is uncertain why Hazal chose this example of radish rather than horseradish, which is sharper yet. Of course, horseradish, like sometimes where we live, they sell it before the Pesach, because they know it's just buy. But I mean, we bought it a few times, but it's such a waste of money, like, because it's a huge root and you need only a little. So okay, what are you going to do the whole with the rest of the root, right? And you cannot preserve it like for a long time. Okay. So okay, so but it's a good point. So the question is, why not to use horseradish? Okay. So again, from the beginning, halachic. Continue. The Talmud when discussing the Halachos Dvar Charif, use example of radish. Okay. Halachic consensus rules that all type of radishes and all sharp foods are included in category Dvar Charif. Okay, and we give the list that we gave before. Thus, garlic, onions, and the commentators say as to whether young onions, scallions, are considered Dvar Charif, see Pitche Teshuva again. But they sometimes they're very sharp. I would not say that they are like I don't know, sweet or something. These scallions. Okay. So one more time. Thus garlic, onions, leek. Okay. Leek, horseradish, olives. So olives. I don't know if you ever try the raw olives. They're very sharp. So yeah, many years ago when we were somewhere in Israel, and I decided to it was like in a public place. It was still in the next some kind of museum or I don't know. It was an olive tree, and I decided to taste. It was so bitter. It's unbelievable. It's very, very bitter. That's why nobody eats the raw olives. They have to pickle them. They have to work on them. Very interesting. Continue. Sour fruit or vegetables. What is it? Lemon, esrog, sour apples, and sour plums. Okay, I never tried sour plums, but okay. So some like again something sharp. But one more time: garlic, onions, leek, horseradish, olives, sour fruits or vegetables. In the parentheses, lemon, esrog, sour apples, or sour plums. Okay, pickled fruits. Also pickled fruits, right? Or vegetables. Perhaps sour pickles, or I cannot pronounce this word, but it's like sauerkraut. It's like what is it? It's I think it's a cabbage, right? Whatever they do with the cabbage. Okay, and salted herring. Okay, so all of these things, pickled foods, of course, pickled tomatoes, cucumbers, like pickles, and herrings, all different kinds of herrings. Are each considered Dvar Charif. certain liquids, although they do not pertain to our discussion, are considered dvar harif. So I mean in our discussion, because our discussion involves knife, so you usually don't need to cut the liquid. If you need to cut with a knife, it means that it's not liquid. Okay, are considered dvar harif as well. For example, very salty water, brine, right? Meaning this brine that I guess that it's used for to pickle vegetables, right? Strong vinegar, perhaps even whiskey, olive oil. It's very interesting. So olive oil, it's very interesting. Why is it sharp? I mean, I never drank the olive oil straight, but you taste it in a salad. Like if you put olive oil in your salad, it's not sharp. So we'll see why. I'm not sure. And sour dry wine, right? It says dry wine. Okay. So commentaries say, presumably, we refer to very dry, sour wine only. Okay. So I think these wines are usually like a very sour dry. They use not for drinking, because I think it's not good for your stomach, but they use for cooking. But anyway, I mean, that doesn't matter. I mean, these liquids again. Let me read the list of the liquids just for our educational purposes. Okay, certain liquids. Right, are considered dvar harif as well. For example, very salty water, brine, strong vinegar, perhaps even whiskey is understandable, very sharp, olive oil, and sour dry wine. Okay, so it was A. So again, so we're on the section definition of harif. So A was radishes and other sharp foods. Now B, cook sharp foods. Of course, they're not as sharp as before, as we understand, right? Some authorities contend that boiled dvar harif is no longer considered to be dvar harif. Others disagree. So we will need to see the commentary, because it's not clear why would somebody say they're sharp. Thus, if boiled dvar harif is cut with a meat knife, one must consult Rav. Okay, so let's do this again, and we have a few commenters. So basically, for example, if you have a cooked, or let's fry onions. So before you put it on a frying pan, it's like it's so sharp you were crying while you were cutting, right? You put you fried it and became sweet, right? Fried onions are sweet. They're not sharp. So I'm not sure why would they say. Of course, they had a reason, but we need to see this reason. So one more time, some authorities contend that boiled dvar harif is no longer considered dvar harif, which is, he said, boiled, not only fried but boiled. Okay, see commentary. This pertains to situation in which dvar harif was boiled prior to its contact with the vessel in question. For example, dvar harif that was first cooked and subsequently cut with knife. But that's how me personally, that's how I understand from to begin with. Right, first you cook this. Let's say you cook these onions, or right, and then you trying to cut it with knife. So because our discussion is with a knife, is about knife, right? If you cut with a knife before cooking, that's first section. Okay. So one more time, some authorities contend that the boiled dvar harif is no longer considered dvar harif, which is, for me, it makes perfect sense, but we need to see the others disagree. I would like to see opinion of others. Okay, they just provide the sources, but no logical, fortunately, there's no explanations. Okay, I mean, I would prefer, I mean, there is sources. I'm not sure if I have these books, but looks like not. Okay. Thus, if the boiled dvar harif is cut with a meat knife, right? So according to the first opinion, there is no problem whatsoever. One must consult Rav. Okay, let's see. Maybe here they're going to explain. Now 94. This will depend upon individual circumstances. For example, amount of water, the duration of the period of boiling, and whether the status of the food as a dvar charif is shortened. One more time, we need to understand these conditions. This will depend on individual circumstances. There is amount of water. So meaning, let's try to understand this statement. Amount of water means if it's covered completely with water, there is no problem. That's understandable. There is cooking. But as we learned before, we said if the water is more than necessary for the food to get stuck to the bottom of the pan, so it's according to some opinion it's already cooking, right? So it's very interesting. So amount of the water taken into consideration. Next one, duration of the period of boiling. Okay, how long did it boil? For one, if it just boiled and they turn off the fire, right? That's maybe it's still sharp. It's very interesting. If it boiled for 3 minutes or 10 minutes, that's a different story, right? Of course, we understand that. And whether the status of food is dvar charif, is certain. Okay, so if it's 100% dvar charif, okay, let's see. So see the here and there. 1 second. Regarding the boiled horseradish, spices boiled in a fried onions or garlic. Shulchan Aruch, okay. So they just give us the sources where to look. Okay, no problem. So they say in these cases, consult Rav, and he's going to ask us all of these questions. Hopefully he looked up and or he has like in his mind all of these solutions. Okay, continue. A mixture. So that's why this posek, this Rav who can answer your questions. So he must be like very knowledgeable in this area, right? And many rabbis, they have their own specialty that they were very strong in, and they does not mean that they are strong in all other things. You understand? So it's but there are geniuses, of course, that are strong in all of the areas. Okay, so let's see. Next one is a mixture. Sharp food mixed with other foods may cause the entire mixture to assume the characteristic of dvar charif, as we understand, right? It's very, very simple. If the sharpness is strongly tasted in a mixture, if the sharp taste is not very noticeable, the mixture is not considered dvar charif. This would depend upon the sharpness of the original dvar charif, the ratio of the mixture, and the strength of the taste of the other ingredients in the mixture. Okay, so let's try to understand this mixture part. So of course it depends on the ratio and how sharp is the food. So of course, but let's see. So one more time about the mixture. Sharp food mixed with other foods may cause the entire mixture assumed to the characteristic of dvar charif. Right? If the sharpness strongly tastes in the mixture. So meaning you put garlic, for example, how much garlic you need? You need a little piece, and the whole house is smelled with garlic, and the whole food, like all of the food, they have a garlic taste, right? So you put a little piece, a few little pieces, right, and comparing to the ratio of other foods. Right, so in this case, as he said, maybe now the whole pot, because of these few pieces of garlic or other foods, they become the dvar charif. If the sharpness taste is not very noticeable, maybe there is a smell, right? But there is no non-noticeable taste. The mixture is not considered dvar charif. Okay, so which is good. Continue. This would depend upon the sharpness of the original dvar charif, right? So maybe it was frozen or maybe it was processed. For example, there's garlic granules or like a garlic powder, of course it has nothing to do. I mean, it is good for a taste, like for a smell, but it's not as sharp as fresh garlic, right? One second. It would depend about sharpness of original Davar Charif, we just explained. The ratio of the mixture, okay, we explained before, but, and the strength of the taste of the other ingredients in the mixture. Commentary. See, okay. It is unclear whether one can apply this principle to a chopper used in preparing eggs or liver with onions. Since the chopper cuts pieces of the onion before they lose their sharpness in the mixture. Let me read one more time and try to understand. It is unclear whether one can apply this principle to chopper used to prepare onion or liver with onions. So I guess there's some kind of chopper that they chop it in tiny pieces. So and then you don't taste the onions in the chopped liver paste, I guess. Okay. Right. Since the chopper cuts pieces of onion before they lose their sharpness in the mixture. Okay. So any questions on what we said? Let's see. Yes, go ahead, please.
So question on the board, and actually I wanted to make this very same question. Are ginger and chili pepper considered sharp foods?
I think so, yes. But I'm not sure why they're not in the list. But this all of the hot peppers for sure it's hot foods. I'm not sure why they're not in the list. That's a good question. I would say yes. Okay. What else?
Thank you, Rabbi. So what about turmeric?
I'm not sure what is that turmeric. I mean, the name sounds familiar, but I'm not sure what is it. Can you remind me?
It's like a root. It's kind of similar to ginger root. Actually, it's kind of yellow. It's very much used in the Middle Eastern food, Indian food as well.
Mm-hmm.
It has a lot of like health benefits and stuff.
But is it sharp like comparing to radish? Is it like from radish's family, like this kind of root?
I don't know. It's very similar to ginger root actually. Very very similar actually. And when one cut these things with a knife, the scent and the flavor stays in the knife for a very long time. So I would say.
So yeah, maybe it's yeah. So for example, ginger, you cannot eat ginger like that, right? So sometimes my wife will when somebody is sick, she would put it in a tea, right? That is ginger, but it has to stay in the tea, and we put lemon to neutralize the taste because it's too much. It's too much, even the hot, right? The tea, of course you don't boil, but you put the hot water in there. So that's sharp food for sure. Yes. Okay, so it's all this similar. So I would say they this Davar Charif. Very interesting. Okay. Any other questions on what you said? Okay, I guess we can stop here with this book because the next section is very long. So Beezrat HaShem, we start with this next time. Okay, go ahead. Questions?
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
So there's another question on the board.
Mm-hmm.
Many times when a fruit is not entirely ripe, it is very sour.
Mm-hmm.
Are those considered sharp foods?
I think so. Yes. And actually, it's I'm not sure we discuss this or not, but Rambam said it's like to eat this fruit is like a sword. It's so not good for you. And we don't say we don't make blessing prohibited, but we make the blessing shechakol on this fruit. right? Because it's not a fruit yet. Fruit meaning that it is developed. So until it's and it has a taste of fruit. For example, apple, right? So when it develops, it's nice and juicy and stuff like that. So it's apple. But until it's ripened completely, so it's not an apple. It's just it's a work in progress, basically. Okay. What else?
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
Okay, so while our friends are typing their questions, so I have a couple questions. One is about Parshat Miketz.
Mm-hmm.
So, considering we're not allowed to steal people's mind, to make them believe something that is not right, that is not
Mm-hmm.
correct,
Mm-hmm.
or even to lie to them, not with words, but with actions and so on. I was wondering, how come Yosef kind of fooled his brothers by making them think that first and foremost that he was someone else, and second that he would be into divination because of this cup thing, and he would make them believe that he was into divination.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was kind of my question.
Okay, that's a very good question. So the question is asked, why would Yosef orchestrated all these things, and then he was patient until they came back, right? So it was a very, very long time, and all of these heartaches were that he caused his brothers, and he said that he loves them, and that he loves his father. So how could he do to his father? Keep Shimon back and stuff like that. So it's very not simple question, right? As we understand. So people read Torah like this comment like it's, I don't know, how can you understand anything from just reading without commentary, right? So it's very interesting. So our sages explain very interesting. So that since it was engraved in Yosef's mind that these dreams, wherever he had, must come true. Meaning what? That all brothers and his father have to come and bow to him. Right? So in his mind was, if he would just open himself to the brothers, the father is not going to come to him, not going to bow. Right? And the brothers, would they bow? Right? For what? You don't bow to your younger brother. You understand? So he had to cook this situation, to create this kind of situation that all of them would bow to him, exactly as it was in the first dream. And then he wanted to come to bring to fruition that the second dream, when his father is going to come. Understand it? It was his goal, and he was very persistent because he understood that these dreams are prophetic dreams that must come true. Doesn't matter why. Right? So that was his goal, to do everything possible that would happen. And it's one thing. And another idea, he wanted to get atonement for to his brothers. So, and how would he do that? So to see whether they feel sorry for them selling him many years ago. Right? And now it's something when they came, especially the second time with Binyamin, like if they would understand that is actually the punishment. And when person feels sorry and he draws the connection that from my previous sin, and now I'm suffering because of my previous sin. That's the first step of teshuva, right? Because why? It says very clearly. So they did not repent. So even though they were sorry that they sold him, but they in their mind they had they made some like a Beis Din, like a court, and they decided, they did a judgment on Yosef. They were allowed to kill him. Right? That was the judgment. Of course, they explain it's like he was against them and stuff. After them, right? So and they were allowed to kill him, and now they're upset because the father is suffering. But do they really did teshuvah? Do they repented from what they did? That's the thing. Understand? And after all the pressure is good, right? So as we said yesterday, so pressure, and guess what? He saw them the way they behave. They say it's all of the things happening to us because of your brother. And Reuven said, because I told you, right? The boy is crying, just leave him alone. So why you want to kill him? You understand? So that's why Yosef had to put pressure to get the atonement. Otherwise, as we know, if everything is good in a person's life, most likely he's not going to do teshuvah of things that he's not so sure that is so wrong, right? So that's what's necessary to bring teshuvah, and right, of the brothers for the past, whatever they did, and plus to make this the dream fulfilled, to have this the dreams fulfilled. Okay, what else?
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you. If one is praying by himself and forgets to say El Melech Ne'em Shema, what does he do?
I apologize. The connection was breaking up. What is it before that? If I apologize. So I think I'm getting it. So if somebody prays by himself, so he say Kel Melech Ne'eman. What's the question?
No. If he forgets to say El Melech Ne'eman before Kriyat Shema, if he forgets it, what happens then? What does he do?
Okay, so he says HaShem Elokeichem Emes. So that's exactly 3 words, right? So in a Shema it has to be 248 words, right? Altogether. So they according to how many organs in a person's body, right? And of course, if you count the words in the Shema, three words are missing. So if you pray with a minyan, so this Chazan would say HaShem Elokeichem Emes, 3 words, and you just listen. It's like you saying things, right, from Chazan. But if you praying alone, so you don't say these words, but you in order to bring the count to 248, so you say this Kel Melech Ne'eman before Shema. So proper to say this word, but after the fact you can say those words. But after the fact, if you did not do this, okay, that's okay. You fulfill your obligation. Okay, meaning saying Shema. So it's not like absolute requirement to say all over the 240, like these extra additions. It's proper, but not after the fact. There is no problem. When I say no problem, I mean that you don't have to go back and repeat the whole Shema. That's what I mean. And the first word, just so we know, since it's the name of HaShem, one of the names, so we pronounce as Kel. So we mispronounce. Okay. Okay.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
Oh, is my audio breaking down somewhat?
Right. Right now it's good, but it was breaking down before, yes.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next question, Kolov. I have a question about after brochas.
Mm-hmm.
What types of things can invalidate them? Moving outside your house, waiting too long, or eating the amount of food you need for an after bracha, but within a really long span time. For example, eating various snacks in small amounts without having a formal meal. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
So I would say it's all of the above. So let's start from the beginning. So the question is, okay, so correct me if I'm wrong. So the question is about the after blessing. The after blessing. So that right? It was the after blessing. So with after blessing, there is no problem if you move outside. The only things that it's proper and required to say in the place where you ate is birchas hamazon. That's right. That's you must say you're not allowed to leave until you say birchas hamazon. And according to many opinions, not only that, but actually mizonos. So if you ate mizonos, you must, and you left the place, you must go back in that place and say birchas hamazon there. And there is also like some, even though it is a minority opinion, but still it's very strong opinion that it also applies to fruit of the 7 species, like grapes and figs and pomegranates, right? So you have to go back and wine. So it's also, so according to some opinions, if you ate raisins, grapes or something, so you would have to go back and say the after blessing there. But for all other foods beside these 3 categories, like mizonos, wine, and fruits of the 5 species, you can go. You can go outside. You can go to the different place. You're not allowed to. You're not obligated to return. You can say the blessing in a place where you are, right? So there is no problem. But and in the case of these blessings, for example, birchas hamazon. So even though you have to return, but if you see that by the time you return, the time span is going to be run out. So what is the time span? Time span is what is it? It's time for a digestion to start. So and our sages, of course, so our sages give us a definition. So when the digestion starts, like halachically, when you feel a little hungry, right? So meaning what? So after the small snack, so they say maximum half an hour, maximum. So if you ate a banana, for example, and you're still hungry, right? So right, or apple or something, right? So you ate apple, you ate enough to say the after blessing. So only you have half an hour to say the after blessing. So you have a bread and bigger meal. So let's say if you got satiated. You did not. You ate pita, one pita and something else, right? Bread. So you have like 72 minutes. But if you had a large meal, like huge meal, right, a lot of bread or meat or other things, so your digestion, you're not going to be hungry until I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 or 5 hours later. 5 is not, but okay, 2 hours, 3 hours, it's no problem. So some problem, right? So of course, it's not healthy to overeat, right, as Rambam teaches, but after the fact, if a person is still satiated, so he can still say birchas hamazon even 2 or 3 hours later, right? So one thing, and in order to qualify for an after blessing, you must eat at least kizayas. So what is it? Kizayas? Kizayas is in grams, it's approximately 28 grams. That's what we hold by, even though there is opinion 29.6. Okay, there is such opinion as well. So okay, and there is another, but in the ounces, it's like 1 ounce. It's a little less than 1 ounce. 1 ounce, I think, is 30 grams, but it's a little less than 1 ounce. So if person ate this amount of food in a period of 3 to 4 minutes, right? But up to 9 minutes. So there is a lean period 9 minutes. So we are obligated to say the after blessing. But if you, for example, you ate nuts, right? You took half of the peanut, you ate, right? And then you're reading a book. Then I don't know, 5 minutes later you took another piece of peanut. Of course, or you took raisin or something. So of course you did not eat enough to make the after blessing, right? That's very important. And if the time, so that's second thing. Third thing, if you ate enough, but the time passed meaning what? It's for a small snack. We said more than 20 minutes pass after your banana, right, or your few nuts. Let's say you ate a nut, if not enough nuts, this 1 ounce, like 28 grams to say after blessing, let's say. But it's after the 30 minutes, you're as hungry as before, maybe even hungry, so you're not allowed to say after blessing. That's it, so you missed it. Of course, our sages say, so what you can do, you can make a blessing on something else, right, that requires the same after blessing. Right, eat that food or drink that drink, except water. Water is not going to work in this case. And then you will say right away after you finish eating and drinking, after blessing, and keep in mind that if I still could cover that whatever I say I ate before these nuts, if they could be still covered, so let my blessing, I just drank this orange juice, right? So let my blessing on my orange juice cover the orange juice that I just drank, and plus all of the nuts, if it's still possible to cover them. So that's like a solution of what to do. And what else? Was it another question? Another scenario? So we said, well, when the if you're allowed, what are we required to say the after blessing? How much we should eat? So moving outside, we cover in the first answer. And when the blessing, when you no longer is allowed to say the blessing after. Did I miss any scenarios from the list? Could you check?
Yes, I believe the one of eating the amount of food that you need for an after brocha, but within a long span time. I believe that was the one. I don't know.
No, but that's what we said. Okay. Let's clarify. Thank you very much. So if you ate in 9 minutes, you ate less than this kizayas, less than 28 grams. You ate 5 pistachio, half of the pistachio. There is a problematic to eat the whole food, right? It's a different story. So you would not say the after blessing. Or for example, you were drinking coffee, right, in small sips. So you did not drink enough to qualify for after blessing. So you don't say the after blessing. Okay. The problem with eating the complete pistachio or complete nuts is that there is opinion in Shulchan Aruch that it says that something that is complete, right, or like a complete food, it's actually have a separate status, like higher status. And after eating even one creation, so you need to say the after blessing. So even though the many poskim say no, you need to eat amount. So since there is a valid opinion, so try not to eat the complete foods unless you eat enough to say for after blessing, right? Or cut it, right? For example, you don't want it like grapes, so cut it in half. These raisins, eat enough for the after blessing, right? That's the issue, right? Unless it's a secondary food, right? I apologize, not a subordinate food. So subordinate food meaning that you have the cereal, morning cereal, and you have whatever mizona is there, and you have a few raisins there. So raisins is like it's subordinate to the cereals that you eat. In this case, there is no problem whatsoever. Okay, what else?
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
Speaking about time spans, I was wondering, when do we start counting the 6 hours before we eat meat? Before we want to eat dairy, does it count from the moment we make the first bite? Sorry, we take the first bite or the last bite of the meal?
Last bite. No, not last bite of the meal, but last bite of the meat. Right. So, for example, you finish meat. I'm just making up like a scenario. At 1 p.m. Right, it was for lunch, and then you sat around the table and you ate cake, this and that, and you were chit-chatting, eat fruits, for example, tea, coffee, and stuff like that. So yeah, so it can and you said Birchas Hamzon at 2 p.m. Let's say, so we count from where you stopped eating meat, right? Not the meal when you stop eating meat. That's it. From that point you count this 6 hours. Okay.
Thank you very much, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
Next question on the board. Are there specific laws regarding Lashon Hara in a school setting? For example, a child telling you the actions of another child and a fellow teacher talking to you about a parent or a child.
That's not such a simple question. So it depends if, for example, if your child comes. So let's look at the different scenario. Your child comes home and said, this guy did this to me, this girl did this to me. First of all, we must remember, right? When we learn Torah, we learn not only from our children, but from Torah we learn that the children sometimes they exaggerate, and sometimes they're not telling the truth. Okay, so to say that you allowed to believe 100% what child said, no. You're not allowed to believe in adults, whatever they say 100%, that whatever they say is true. So, but in many cases, you would be allowed to listen to what your child says for constructive purpose, but you will teach them little by little the laws of Lashon Hara. You understand? So, so the thing is, if you're allowed to tell other parents, for example, what your child said, right? So it's not such a simple thing, right? Because first of all, you don't know if it's true, and other parents, if they hear from you, they take it as the truth. So that's would be like putting stumbling block in front of the blind. But if there is a real concern, it's a constructive purpose. Maybe there is something wrong with the teacher, right? Of course, some kids they just make up the stories about the teacher, and we have these examples. Like unfortunately, they trying to get back at the teacher and say they did bad things to them, which is not true. So we also have to be careful. So we have to investigate. But between, for example, between teacher and a parent, there's a different story. So you have to you're allowed to ask advice of the teacher. Teacher is a professional in some sense, like psychiatrists. They know more about the children that you're a young parent, for example. So you can ask the advice. You can tell them what's going on with the child. You understand? But the laws of Lashon Hara apply 100%, and especially between one teacher and another teacher. So for the example that Chofetz Chaim gives, for example, this class that you led last year, so it's going to be transferred to the next teacher, to the different teacher next year. Okay, so you're not allowed to label all the children. Of course, the new teacher is going to tell you, please tell me how are the students. Please tell me about this guy, that guy, that somebody have to be like caution about and stuff like that. So of course they ask you, and maybe they have a constructive purpose in their head. But if you don't like this little guy or little girl, because of they annoy you, so you're not allowed to say anything negative, because you're going to say something negative, but in this teacher's mind, it's going to stuck forever, right? And you can ruin the child's life. That's very, very dangerous. You have to be like before you write, especially in a report card and in profile of the child, or whatever the chart of the child, whatever they have at school. You have to be very careful before writing some negative things, because why you can ruin the child's life. Just one simple remark, right? So of course all of these laws apply. So we have to go through all of these laws, Chofetz Chaim, day by day, and see Like, be very, very careful. Okay. What else?
Sure.
You're welcome.
Next question, Shalom Kudarav. Question about Yichud. Does the prohibition of Yichud apply to half siblings?
Half siblings? Yes. Yes. That's a big issue. That's a big issue. So, and they cannot be left alone, right? After they grow up a little. So, for example, it's a second marriage for both of them. Let's say this husband and wife, so they have children from previous marriage, but they cannot combine them together. They cannot sleep in the same room. I mean, different genders. Right, and another issue when people adopt children. So that's a huge issue. I mean, of course, it's acts of chesed and loving kindness, and you're trying to give this this child you love and your attention. But for example, as a father, so you cannot. And there's a girl. Let's say she's 7, 8 years old, so you cannot hug her. All of your other children you can, but with her there is a problem to be with her alone. It's 100% yichud. Many people disregard, but sometimes it does not end up so well. This when people disregard halachah, right? Unfortunately, very unfortunately, we had heard the bad stories about these stepfathers. Okay, what else?
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
Next question. I have heard there's a principle in Halachot, Lashon Hara, called upholding the truth or something similar. I heard this is particularly regarding someone that is part of Amitecha. Can the Rabbi expand on this? Is it Lashon Hara to publicly point out a third party sin if it's a kosher person?
Could you read the second part? Or I apologize. Could you read from the beginning? I'm not getting.
Sure. It says I have heard there is a principle in Halachot Lashon Hara called upholding the truth or something like that.
Upholding. I somehow heard this holding. So upholding the truth, meaning I'm going to tell the truth no matter what, right? That's what. Okay. Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
And then it goes. I heard this is particularly regarding someone that is part of Amitecha. Can the rabbi expand on this? And there's another part that says, is it Lashon Hara to publicly point out a third-party sin if it is a kosher person?
I would ask. I would answer the second question, but about the first question, I'm not sure what is the situation. So I would ask like some simple example, if a person can provide, please. So, but about second part of the question, it's very clear. We're going to explain it now. So the people are divided in 4 categories, basically, right? According to Halachos Lashon Hara. So the first category is somebody who is a righteous person, right? A kosher person, and you never saw him sin, and he's an upright person, tzaddik, Torah scholar, okay, learn Torah every day. So if you saw him sin, and for sure you saw him sin, it's not like maybe I was 100 feet away, maybe this, maybe there, maybe I was blind by the sun. You saw it very clear with your own eyes. So and that he sinned for sure, not maybe, right? So can you judge him favorably? So I will say just explain. Okay, you can always judge him favorably, that person. Why? Maybe what he did is not a sin. Maybe you don't know, right? It was somebody just sent me this question. Actually, I had a class before, so they put somebody in the garbage right away. So I asked the question. So, but he does not know Halachah. So what is the Halachah? Well, what this person did? This somebody in their shul, right? And they say they you know how they wash hands. He put pour on one hand before the bread, and another hand, and he like say the blessing, and that's it. So and because of that person from my class, unfortunately, okay, we said that we have to pour twice. So because of that, person said that this person does not know that he's basically epicurus, you understand? So and I told that person it's not true. So Shulchan says one time is enough. Of course, we were doing twice, but because of the different reason. Like because the Shulchan says just in case there is impure water, like it flow back, so you do second time just in case, but technically one time is enough. So in many cases, maybe we don't know Halachah, right? Maybe the other person did not know Halachah. Right? Maybe he thought also he's a righteous person, but maybe it's known clearly to you. But he's a righteous person, but he thought that it's not forbidden. It's only like custom not to do it, or it's only stringency, humra, right? So just to throw him in the garbage and publicize him because of this reason, it's absolutely not allowed. Plus, and if he's Talmid Chacham, right? So we say he knows the consequences of the sin. So this time he fell, right? But most likely by the morning he's going to do teshuvah. Maybe he already did teshuvah. Maybe he already realized and he's inside just because somebody is not crying and not ripping his hair like on his head, that he's okay. No, you don't know what is going on with people inside, right? Maybe he already did teshuvah. So if it's a righteous person, like absolutely not allowed under any circumstances to say Lashon Hara about him, right? So Lashon Hara, it's what you saw with your own eyes. That's the report. And second case is second case of the person who is a 50-50, right? So like 50-50, he's a kosher Jew, but sometimes he's not so kosher. He goes to different places he's not supposed to go. Right. So, okay. So he goes to the mixed beach, for example. Most likely, like most of the time, he's a shul. He learns, he attends, but he gives speeches. But he goes like to the mixed beach. He goes to I don't know, to all of this. I don't know. I wanted to say Bermuda. I don't know, to this Barbados. I don't know, to all this island, Jamaica. Right. He goes to all of these vacations. Right. So of course it's not allowed for Jews to go there. Okay, so in this case, if it's possible, if it's 50-50, if all of this reason that we say maybe he did not know, maybe you did not see, maybe you did not understand clearly, maybe if it's 50-50, that you can give him a chance, so you must judge him favorably, because right, because maybe whatever he did is not is not the sin, or he did not know, so you also try to judge him favorably. Right? You're not obligated, but you have to, right? And in third scenario, if same person, like almost the same, but most likely, like you saw with your eyes that he did sin, right? He said right, he sinned. And it's not maybe it's more, it's more on the negative side. So in this case, okay, still, since he's a partly kosher Jew, you should not talk about him bad, but in your mind you can conclude, not say out loud, but in your mind you conclude that he's not so kosher. You understand? But still not allowed, right? But they say if he's confirmed Michal Shabbos, he lives with non-Jewish wife, all of these things. So eat not kosher, all other things, right? So in this case, you're not allowed to give him any benefit of that. It's exactly zero. Even if it looks like that he did something positive, he said no, he did a negative. It's a negative part. You understand? So that for different categories. So one, we're not allowed to give judge him of, not favorably, only favorably. Second case, we should judge him favorably. If it's 50-50, maybe he sinned, maybe not. In a third case, we're not obligated, right? But we should keep quiet still, right? And the fourth case, we're not allowed to judge him favorably at all. But opposite is true. And Rabbi said yesterday about Michtav Miliyahu and Rabbi Dessler Zatzal. So he said, so sometimes, right? Everything is going according to the person's intention. So if his intentions is evil, and then even if he does something positive, it's considered to be evil, right? It's very, very interesting. So even if he did mitzvah and he gained some even this reshaim, even if they do mitzvah, it's just to gain to some power and deceive people and go to the evil way. And the examples that Rabbi Dessler gives is one person who was walking who was coming into the town, and he found set of clothing somebody lost. Looks like there were no simanim, there were no identifying marks. So a set of clothing, and he came to the main square, and he started screaming, I found this clothing, who lost this clothing, who it belongs to, please come, I want to give it to you, this and that. And people say, wow, such a tzaddik, such a chassid, who else? We must make this guy a mayor over us, such a righteous person, who else? And guess what? He ran down the whole town, and he actually took advantage of all of these people. So this mitzvah was actually agenda to push his case. You understand? So all of these wicked people, even though whatever they do good is actually because the aim, right, main goal is bad. So whatever, it's all false. It's falsity. But in the righteous people, even they deviate from the truth, it's considered to be 100%. Even though look on a surface of the things they lie, it's actually 100% true. And the case Rabbi Dessler brings is from Yitzchak, right? When he gave a blessing to Yaakov, and Yaakov was going just I want to give some parts of the story, so we understand. So when Yitzchak gave the blessing to Yaakov, and Yaakov was leaving, right, and he heard the Yosef coming, so he hid behind the door, right, and Yosef came, and Yaakov left, right, so he just missed him. And when it says that Yitzchak starts trembling, right, when when Esav came, and Yitzchak said, "Who brought me this game?" So the question I asked why he was trembling, and Medrash explained he was trembling. Why? Because he felt the heat of Geinom on all of the walls. So Esav, in some sense, he brought this heat of Geinom with himself. So the Yitzchak understood that it was Yaakov that got the blessing. So he said, "Who is going to Geinom? Me or Yaakov? Who is wrong in this story?" You understand? And HaShem said, "It's actually not nor you nor Yaakov is going to Geinom, but this is God. This is the guy. This Esav is the one who brought the game. That's because he's a liar." He did not tell his father a long time ago, and not even now, that he sold his birthright. You understand? So he sold his birthright, but he wanted to get the blessing. Somehow, some people, these anti-Semites, they actually skip this part, right? He sold it. It was clear sale, right? And they actually ate after the sale. It's like what people do. You made a deal, business deal. You go to a restaurant, or you invite them to your house and you eat. That's shows that you're in good terms, right? That's the business deal is complete, right? But the aim of the Esav was absolutely wrong from the beginning, right? And he was not supposed to be the one in charge of this blessing that Yitzchak is going to give. Who is deserving this blessing? Yaakov deserves. So all of this falsehood that he said is me, but he did not even lie. But it doesn't matter. Even on the surface, it was lying, and on the surface, Yitzchak. Why Yitzchak saw that he was wrong? Because he thought that he suspected. He said, "Is it you, Esav? Right? Is it you?" And he said, the voice of Yaakov, but the hands of Esau. What does it mean? That he had suspicion, and despite the suspicion, he put it away. Maybe Yitzchak thought that I allowed myself to be cheated, so maybe I part of the scheme. But even though that's what happened, because the main goal was to achieve what HaShem really wanted and to put Yaakov in charge of the family, in charge of this getting the blessing and creating the Am Israel, that's all of these lies is actually the truth. And all of the truth of the Esau, it's actually 100% lie. So we're going by the aim. Okay. So did we get did we get the clarification of the first part? Like example or no?
Yes.
Please.
A friend wrote, if someone is promoting a charity and another person points out that in a picture for the cause, the person they are raising money for is wearing a long wig, and another remark against the wig.
So I don't understand what is the connection. So somebody. So let me try to understand. So somebody is promoting a charity event, right? And this lady, let's say, she's on a picture wearing long wig. So what is the connection with the charity? Please, I didn't get it. What is it?
Yeah, it says that another person points out that in a picture for the cause, the person they are raising money for is wearing a long wig, and another remark against the wig. That's what it says.
So are you allowed? So okay. So let's try to understand, to combine two pieces of information together. So what is the question? Are you allowed to say remark of the other person who is wearing the wig? I mean, all of these remarks, if I understand the question correctly, is not for constructive purpose. So if I'm going to tell my friend, right, that look at this girl that for whom we raise money. Let's say she has her husband died, Chas v'shalom, right, and we're raising money for her kids. Let's say, because they're going to be kicked out of the apartment, and she has a long wig. Well, let's say it's from India. Let's say Avodah Zarah. So what is the connection? You understand? So is she going to stop wearing wig because what I said to my friend? No, it's not going to happen. So this statement, 100% Lashon Hara. So in order for us to say something, if you say in general, there is no problem. So we're trying to educate the public. But if we take it, talking about specific about individuals, it must be to bring some constructive purpose, right? Some constructive. You, for example, it's your rabbi, it's somebody, it's your uncle, this and that, who is very close, or your aunt, and she's going to talk to this girl, and the whole family already burned the wig, but this girl, she's still wearing the wig, so the aunt is on your side, and you're trying to bring the proof and stuff like that. So she's going to listen to you. Please help us. Please help her. That's for constructive person. But otherwise, if you send me, I don't know this girl. Let's say you send me this picture and said she's wearing avodah around her hat. So how it's 100% Lashon Hara. You understand? So why? Because it's not for constructive purpose. It's only to denigrate the person. That's the issue. So, but if you try, so our aim always, we can say negative speech in two situations. Maybe now I'm going to simplify it, but I think we should get the point. So in two situations, to help the person that we are talking about, and first scenario, and second, we're trying to warn the public. That's it. So because we try to warn the public of this person, right? Because of the danger of this person. That's it. It's over simplified, but that's it. So, maybe pointing out that this picture, nothing constructive. Okay. Okay. What else?
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
next question on the board says, Shalom Kudalaf, question about brocha achrona. If I had a breakfast with only meat, egg, and coffee, and I want to continue drinking my coffee after breakfast, given technically I finished my breakfast session, should I say borei nefashot on meat and egg and have intention to exclude the coffee, or should I not do any brocha achrona until I finish the coffee?
That's that's a very good question. It's not such a simple solution. I'm going to explain why. So if for example, it's one of these people can, and I know some people in my office, they could drink the cup of coffee the whole day. Like for me, I would not have patience like to sip like a small sips. So in this case, of course, you're not allowed to wait until you finish the whole coffee. Maybe you forget. You're going you're going out with your cup of coffee, and you're going to leave this cup of coffee in your car, and you go to the office, you go to the shop, and you go to wherever, and you're going to forget that you did not finish the coffee, right? So I would say make the blessing. Make the blessing. You can technically exclude coffee, right? Or another solution. Maybe it's even better solution. So say the blessing on everything, right? Well, whatever you ate or drank, or whatever was it in your breakfast, and they say the blessing on something shechakol, whatever is it, piece of candy, whatever is it, right? And a piece of chocolate, right? Whatever. And keep in mind that I also this piece of chocolate, tiny. I also want to cover this coffee. That's it. So it would be like I think it would be according to all of the opinions if you do that. So of course chocolate was not included in your breakfast. Of course it was not covered, right? Unless you intended to eat and for satiation, but it's very unlikely scenario. So yeah, do that. Don't. People forget. People are so busy today. So many things, especially with the cell phones, have so many distractions. You'll forget. I found myself. I was so upset a few times, like in the recent past. So I wanted to set a reminder, and then I opened my phone, and I have messages from this one, and I completely forgot about reminder. And then in the middle of the night, I woke up and with a thing that I forgot to set myself reminder. That's crazy. That's not healthy. And I check. Of course, I forgot to set myself reminder. It happened for me a few times. Like 2 minutes, 1 minute. I was checking messages. Completely forgot about that. I had to do why I opened my cell phone to begin with. So it's very, very dangerous. So I'm just judging by myself. Very, very dangerous, and it's very simple to forget things. So that's why don't put yourself in that situation, right? So that would be the best scenario. But if you don't have anything else, of course, you can you can make a blessing on everything, right? Even including this coffee. And if you go in you want to take your coffee, for example, outside, you go to work and something like that. So that coffee and keep it in the car. Don't drink right away. So after the time, sometimes when you left the premises, the blessing is expired, and you'll be able to say new blessing. But the straightforward way, as I said, is a piece of chocolate, okay, or something, or chocolate, or I don't know, orange juice. The only exception in all of these scenarios is water. Water is not going to work to fix the issue, unless you're very, very thirsty.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
So I have a question about some of my neighbors. I happen to live very close to the main Ashkenaz synagogue here in my town.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a few Jewish neighbors, and they're very, very nice actually. And unfortunately, I saw them, some of them desecrating Shabbat.
Mm-hmm.
We're at the point that they have absolutely no idea that I'm into Judaism, into a process of conversion. They don't know who I am. I just say hello to them here and there. Sometimes my dog's gotta jump on them to say hello, whatever. So can I take advantage of the situation that they don't know who I am to do something clever, something sneaky in order to help them do tshuva? For example,
Absolutely.
I have a couple of these vouchers from Rabbi Ruben Shlita that came with a book that I ordered, the Welcome to Judaism one. And I was wondering, can I find like a way to give this to them without telling that I have anything to do with Judaism at all, in order to like enhance the impact of the thing? I was wondering.
Yeah, we have to be clever, but I think that's your obligation as actually. HaShem will put you in a close proximity, and you're friendly, they're nice, so yeah. So of course, in very, very, very nice terms, but yeah, you can give them more information for sure. Okay, what else? Any other questions?
Thinking about this, so should I tell them that I'm in a process of conversion, or perhaps just
no, don't tell them. No, that would be a little offensive to them. Right? But just say, yeah, I'm learning a little bit about Judaism, a little. So just I knew a few things. Right?
Can I perhaps like give them one of these vouchers and say, okay, listen, I ordered this book and they came with this. I don't know if you may be interested in this.
Yeah. Tell them. Yes. It's a good idea. Tell them.
Thank you, Rabbi. Thank you very much. Last question on the board says, what should we do if we carry a water from a place to place or a bag of trail mix? I don't know if our friend is referring to Shabbos, perhaps.
So what is it? Okay, and what is the question?
Yes, it says, what should we do if for brocha achrona? That's what it says. What should we do if we carry a water from a place to a place or a bag of trail mix? And
can continue eating these things, and drink water, like continue drinking water.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So that's amazing question. So let me. I'm going to give you a little bit like different scenarios, so we get the point. For example, if a person left his house or her house, right, and the intention is to travel, I don't know, to go to a road trip, to go like stop in different places, go in, out, like whatever. And the person said that I'm going to drink this cup of coffee, right, on the road. So this initial cup of coffee, initial blessing that the person made in the house, since the intention in the mind was that it should continue working. So many times in and out of the car, like this blessing is going to work until the person finishes the whole coffee. And same with the trail mix, with same with this water. It's hot, hungry, this and that. So let's say somebody is in the park, right? So many years ago we used to go to this national parks. When we had a little more time, but no more parks, right? So some trails, so we will go to some trails like 6 hours, 5 hours, 3 hours. So you need to take some food. Of course, for you, it's a continuous meal session. So you snacking a little at a time. So one blessing covers. And in many instances, you would not to say the after blessing because you have not eaten enough for the after blessing. I mean, maybe yes, maybe no. So if they ate enough, ate these kizayis, that would require the person to say the after blessing. Okay. Any other questions? Or I have prepared one thing from you for you. So let me maybe do it now. It's from my class that was right before that. So it's actually from Talmud Sanhedrin, and it's very interesting story. So it says it's about two captives, right? That non-Jews capture. That's what they did. They good at it, right? To take captives, right? Prisoners. They took these captives on Mount Carmel. It's Sanhedrin 104b, right? And they were walking them to this captive was walking these prisoners to his place. So he was walking behind, right? So and one of the captives, so one of these Talmidei Chachamim Jews, right? So he said to his fellow. So and before them it was like a caravan or something like with a camel. So he said this camel in front of us is actually blind in one eye, right? And he said actually, and he carries two barrels, right? And one with the wine and one with the oil. And there are two men that leading the camel, and one of them is Jew and one is not Jew. Right, so this guy behind, this non-Jew, was listening to them, and he said, I'm going to stiff-necked people, all the Muslims, all of these criminals, right? All of these stiff-necked people. From where do you know that? You Jews, I get. We had this clip. The Torah is a document that the land of Israel was given to the Jews. Only today, I block on our English channel even 3 or 4 people. Baruch HaShem. So we don't need the commentary. So but they were not the first who comment on our knowledge. Here's another clown, right? So he said, from where do you know? And they say, look, we know there's the camel blind in one eye because when it eats, it has grass on the left and on the right. So, but it eats only grass from the left, meaning what? Meaning that he does not eat, the camel does not see the grass on the right side. So otherwise, like a camel is not so picky, he would eat the grass on both sides. So, and you know how we know that in one barrel they have wine and one barrel they have oil. It's very simple, they say, right? Because wine would, when it spills, right? Maybe it's not like close tight, whatever. When it spills, it absorbs into the ground. But oil, when it spills, it stays on the ground, right? And how do you know that one is a Jew as one is not? How do you know? This non-Jew was working for this Jew was working for that. How do you know he's a Jew? You from the behind, it's such a far distance. He said it's very simple. Non-Jew, when he needs to relieve himself, he does it right there. A Jew, when he needs to relieve, he said he goes on the side of the road into the bushes, and that's how we know. Okay, so this guy. The copter, they say, stay here, and he went ahead and asked these people, and then he came back and he understood the information was 100% correct. All right, one second, and he took them to he stopped them, right? He kissed them on their heads, took them to his house, to his palace. He was a very rich person. He make a great banquet, right? And he freed them. And I have to read this. And he explained, "Blessed is he who chose the seed of Abraham and gave them his wisdom," right? Whenever they go, they will become princes in their master, princesses of their master. Jews, they spread out of the world. They go to a new country. Here we go. They on top of the world. They top. They in charge. You don't know the language. How is it possible that you are already in charge? You already have business. You have 3 stores. You just came to this country. These locals, they still on unemployment. They still on welfare. They still try to cheat electric company. You already bought half of the electric company. How is it possible? You came without any money. That's exactly right. That's seed of Abraham, right? And Abraham wisdom. Okay. Then he set them free, and they went home in peace. So that's what I want to share with you. It's Talmud Sanhedrin, page 104b. Okay. Okay. Any questions? Go ahead. Sorry, my bookmark.
Thank you very much, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
Rabbi, can I ask a question?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Okay, so I asked a previous question about an opinion from the Shulchan Aruch, kind of off topic, that had to do with if a person wakes up in the morning and says the morning prayer upon awakening, where you wash your hands before you leave your bed.
Mm-hmm.
And there was an opinion when we were in the Shulchan Aruch class that said that from the Shulchan Aruch that if a man did this, if a Jewish man did this, that he had still fulfilled his daily prayer requirements.
On biblical level, yes. Mm-hmm.
That is true. So I just wanted to confirm with you how does that fit in context? I mean, if on a biblical level, does that mean Torah only, not rabbinical, or how does it fit biblically?
So biblically, we have to pray to HaShem. So pray to HaShem, period. So how do we pray to HaShem? So we praise Him. So even if we praise Him and His modernity, of course, we thank Him that He returned to our souls, so we be appreciative. So in some sense, it is a prayer. But since then, so a Jewish man accepted upon themselves to pray not one, not two, but 3 times a day. So according to rabbinic law, it's not good enough. You understand? So we have positive commandment to pray three times a day.
So that means that according to the Torah, it would fulfill a man's responsibility, but rabbinic it would not.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. And is there any leniency because of the rabbinical part? Because I know there's opinions where, about something that's Torah versus rabbinical. Is that because there are different opinions, or is there any other opinion besides saying that it doesn't fulfill?
No, I mean, since it is rabbinical, so if person does not pray it, for example, 3 times a day, so he's not going to get punished. You understand? There is no punishment. They're not going to give him lashes or something. Okay, since it's a positive commandment, and plus it's rabbinical. Okay, that's leniency. But is it smart? Is it smart to do so? I don't think so. Yeah, go ahead.
So if he dies and he goes to judgment, but he didn't pray 3 times a day, but he did say the morning prayer, is there still no punishment?
Still no punishment, but he lost so many merits. So just because there is no punishment does not mean that it's a good thing to do. Right? So when person does a mitzvah, so he gets all of the merits. And it says, is it obligated to wear tzitzis? Right? On you, it's not, there is no obligation. In Torah it says, when you have a 4-corner garment, that then you have to wear tzitzis. So like today, if you look at our garments, they're not 4 corners. Right, we have all of the round like shorts, t-shirt, undershirt, whatever. So there are no 4-corner garments, right? Unless you create one, unless you create one specifically for this purpose, and then you tie tzitzis and you wear it. So are you obligated to wear tzitzis? Absolutely not. The Torah obligates us to wear tzitzis only when you have 4-corner garment. If you don't have a 4-corner garment, you're not obligated. But they say do it. And the thing the Talmud says, and when it's going to a person who is so like smart and say, since I don't have a 4-corner garment, I'm not obligated. In time of judgment, when the judgment come into the world, right, the judgment is going to start with these people who did not wear tzitzis. Why is that? He was innocent. Yeah, but why? Because he was brazen to count that he has so many merits that he does not need extra. But when you wear tzitzis in a proper time, so for every second you get married. How like small, tiny? Because I did not do like too many efforts. I just wear. It does not bother me. Maybe I'm just adding for myself. Maybe in the summer where it's very hot, so I'm getting extra effort. But in the winter, it's just another layer of clothing. There is no problem whatsoever. You understand? But the Hashem is going to judge the person because he does not have any merits. So if there is so easy to get these merits for tzitzis, so why you were so brazen? Why you thought that you have enough merits? So okay. So we're going to judgment is going to start with you. Was he obligated? Absolutely not. Is it our rabbis say do it? They say do it. Absolutely. Put yourself in a situation where you obligated. And prayer, what is a prayer? We said yesterday, prayer is your appointment with Hashem. Right? He's going to listen to whatever you want to say, especially if you pray with a minyan. So this prayer is getting accepted because it's minyan. If you pray individually, it's a different story, but still, Hashem hears you care. But if you don't pray to him, you don't ask him for things. So what does it mean? That you're idol worshiper. Why? Because you believe in yourself. Like I'm going to make money. Why? Because I have this diploma, I have this skill, I have this license from this state, and I can make all of the money or everything that I want. It depends. I'm you know what? I'm taking vitamins. I'm going to stay healthy for another 78 years because I have this. I saw this website, this regimen how to take these vitamins, and they do push-ups. And I take the cold shower after running 17 miles every day. So, okay, of course, I'm going to survive. And I'm going to be good, right? So this person, 100% idol worshiper. You understand? But when we pray to Hashem, we say, Hashem, everything from you. Please help me. Please send me parnasa. Please send me shiur. Please send me kids. Please make these kids listen to me. Please make these kids listen to you. Forget about me, but let them listen to you, and you tell them that they have to respect parents, meaning me. So that's works very good. So not to pray to Hashem, you're just saying that you're on your own. He's on your own, and you're on your own. He's God, and you're God. Why should I pray to him, right? So why should I pray to my neighbor? He's my neighbor, right? So that's not a good idea to rely on that opinion. I mean, right? That you can pray only once a day with your own words. So, but for non-Jews, so if I have questions today, I didn't have time. Some people, they watch our videos, they want to become Noachites, and they ask me what to pray, and I have this problem with this wicked people who created this Sidur for Noachites and this Bnei Olam or something it is called, and this approved, disapprove, that approved, this. Okay, it's all garbage. So we tell them, pray with your own words. But they do it right, like a Breslov teacher. Like it's not Breslov, it's a Jewish way of praying. So you pray like a little child that comes to you and tells you all of the problems. Somebody pushed me in a playground. Somebody took away my ice cream. My sister smacked me in the face. My mother did this. Father did this. Okay, so it's the same way you talk to Hashem like a little child. Tell him about everything that happened, and you ask his help. Otherwise, you're on your own. He said, buddy, you're on your own. I'm going to send you a little virus. Let's see how all of the vitamins, how this running 17 miles every day, how are they going to help you? I'm going to stay aside and just see who wins, huge you or little virus. Understand? So that's the thing. And one of the blessings that we learned in our Tuesday Shulchan Aruch class is actually what blessing we say after the medicine, right? After taking medicine, you have to take blessing. Make blessing before taking this medicine, before medical procedure, before and after. What do we say? We say that let this medicine, let this procedure help Hashem bless it. Right? Just because he's a brilliant surgeon does not mean that the person is going to survive. Just because this one pill costs $1,000 does not mean that it's going to help the person. Right? It's blessing of Hashem. Okay, that's a short question. A short answer to this question.
So, Rabbi, just in addition to the question, isn't there an opinion that even though rabbinical is not Torah, that there actually is the spoken word passed down by Moses, that then is also has a biblical root too, that you do have to abide by it?
Yes, you're absolutely right. So it's actually from I think, if I remember correctly, I think it's one of the 600 commandments. Hashem said, "Listen to my rabbis." I send rabbis. I gave them explicit instruction what to do, and of course, it's what is the instruction? They instructed to prevent us from sinning, so they have to build all of the fences around the Torah law, right? So they say don't. For example, don't take muktzah in your hands with a lighter, right? Or matches. Don't touch matches on Shabbos. Why? Because you're going to play with lighter and you're going to create the fire, right? So in order not to not accidentally strike the match, Rabbi say these things are muktzah, not allowed to touch it. You understand? So and similar things like that. So that's and so somebody who goes against the rabbis, right, explicitly. So he goes against the rabbis and against HaShem. So it's not a good idea. So against HaShem, meaning the same HaShem who told us that I gave you like core laws, but they're going to provide details and make the fences around these laws. Okay.
So then how can it be that yet a man who doesn't pray 3 times a day bears no punishment if the rabbis have said to do so? Wouldn't it be a direct violation of the 613 commandments?
No, but those are two separate accounts. So there is one account for when person sins, it goes to one account, and there is another account when person does mitzvahs. So they're not contradict each other. So the person can and if it's positive mitzvah, except two of the mitzvah, he's not does not incur punishment. But is it going to protect this mitzvah? Are they going to help him? Maybe not, or most likely not, because it's not enough to withstand some things in life. Some merits. He does not have merits to. Here's the thing: the reward of the mitzvah is another mitzvah. So you did a mitzvah as a reward in this world. So HaShem is going to give you the opportunity to do another mitzvah. So, but a Jew cannot be static. Cannot, right? Angels can, Jew cannot, right? Jew goes like up or down. So, and he cannot stay on the one side. So if person does not do mitzvahs, for sure, guaranteed, 100% he does Averos. Understand? Because he has to do something in this life. Understand? So, but what can bring him to do mitzvah? Another mitzvah. So it's some opportunity. He did small mitzvah. He prayed shacharis, right? And now, you just prayed shacharis. Okay, you know that like a rabbi is going to say a quick halachah after. So now you learn the Torah, and then you do this, and then you remember this halachah that was said, or you read it yourself, right? Like after shacharis. That's what some people do, like small time, like 1 minute halachah, right? So and it brought you to the next opportunity. But if person did not do this, so he did not have any merits for the next mitzvah. So that's there is no contradiction. You understand? So, but Shulchan Aruch said pay 3 times a day, and if you count, just count the pages, forget the context. How many pages is Shulchan Aruch put aside? Just explain how many prayers, and you compare one line, what it says, compare it to 200 pages of how to pray properly. Just ratio us. You understand that they want you to pray. Understand?
Yes, I understand. So I think I understand this correctly. So there's 2 actions happening here within the concept of the 613 commandments versus the rabbinical commandments to pray 3 times a day, and that is that the rabbis don't enforce that as a sin violation if you don't. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. Yes.
But in other commandments, the rabbis do say certain things are a sin.
Yes.
Okay.
You're right. Exactly.
Thank you.
So yeah, exactly. You're right. So in other things like even rabbinical, for example, we have obligation to give truma to a coin. So a person is not allowed to keep this truma, this part, and withhold from the coin. So a rabbinical court has a power, not right now, but when we have Beis Hamikdash, so they can actually make the person right with Mardus Malchus, right? They call this lashes for rebellion conduct, right? To enforce him to do positive mitzvah. You understand? But the prayer is not one of the things. So they cannot beat him up or make him or find him. Actually, they can. I apologize. You see. So if they need a minion, right? If they need a minion, and somebody is not coming to there are nine people, let's say, and there is a person who is too lazy to come to the minion. So the Talmud calls them bad neighbor. So who is a bad neighbor? So maybe he's not this guy, but he's a little lazy, right? He wants to relax after the work instead of going to marry. So Talmud call him bad neighbor, and I think if I remember correctly, they can make him or fine him, right? If he's not going to come for a minion, right? Because the minion is very good for the whole community. Okay, so for positive, yeah, in some sense they can enforce positive mitzvah, but if, for example, there is a minion, so nobody's going to drag this person to court and start punishing because he does not pray 3 times a day. No, it's not. Okay, but it's good for us, and it's part of what we do. Okay, what else? Any other questions?
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Sorry, just a quick question about the Fast of Tevet. So I was wondering, first one is someone in the process of conversion allowed to do the whole fast?
Yes, yeah, the fast, there is no problem. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Rabbi. And so a question about prayers. Do we have to add slichot and some of the parts on the more prayers?
Yes, yeah. Oh, thank you very much. I apologize. Completely forgot. So yes. So the prayers tomorrow morning is going to be much longer than usual. If for people who go to synagogue, first of all, it's going to be Torah reading, but exactly there is slichas. There is extra part. So of course slichas do not apply to women. Baruch HaShem, it's a little discount for them. But if they have time, please read. It's about what happened on that day. It's it's just quick history that when Nebuchadnezzar surrounded the temple. I think that's what it is. Of course, it took 3 years until the temple was destroyed, but it's it was beginning of the end, basically. That's the 10th of Tevet. And if you're planning to eat tomorrow, just check your calendar. Check this. What is it? What time is fast starting? Right. So try to finish meal if you're going to have meal. Your breakfast cereal, cheese, whatever you're going to eat, it's your business. So there is no problem, right? But try of course, you must finish before the fast start. If you're going to eat bread, like real bread, so they say that you have to finish 30 minutes before the starts, because to give you enough time to say Birchas Hamazon. Okay. But if you're going to say only cookies or cake or stuff like that, there is no problem. Or pasta, whatever you're going to eat. So there is no problem, since the blessing is very short. So you can even start in this half an hour. And if you want to drink, again, there is no problem. So you don't have to stipulate, but set yourself alarm just to get up a little earlier. You can have coffee, tea, whatever you want. Drink a lot of water. Okay.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Yeah.
So just to make sure about the halachos about this day, are they similar to the ones of Tisha B'Av?
No. Okay, I apologize. They asked me the same question that today I completely forgot. Yeah, so the question that Tzaddik asked me today, if he has to get up extra early to take a shower to prepare for Shabbos and cut his nails. Absolutely not. No. What is forbidden on this fast is only eat and drink. That's it. So you can take a shower, cut your nails, do other things. There is no problem. Okay. So it's and it's not as strict as Tisha B'Av. It's only Tisha B'Av and Yom Kippur, the strictest fast. They're all very similar. 5 things are forbidden. On this fast, only 1 thing is forbidden: eating and drinking. It's like 1 thing. That's it. Okay, and plus, if you can, if you have time, please say these slichas. They're very long. I mean, long. I am saying because it's not familiar text. So like regular text, you remember, you fly after a few months, like years, you fly. It's like very fast. But then these words are like very long words, like you don't pronounce for months and months. So it slows down a lot. Okay. What else?
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
We have 2 last questions on the board.
Okay, go ahead, please.
One says, Shalom Kolav. If one wants to get a pet, what would be a preferred kosher pet? I'm concerned about the spiritual impurity and laws related to pet on Shabbos.
Okay, so the dog should not be taken for sure, because the spiritual impurity in dogs, and plus you have to clean up after them. It's you're not allowed to clean up after them on Shabbos, right? Because it's muktzah. So I guess a cat is also, it's not the most pure animal, but I would say birds. If you can take birds, and take birds if it's possible. But with the birds, so they're also the problem. So you have to be very careful. They would not fly out of the cage on Shabbos, right? So you have to be very careful how you open the door and how you close, because one of the 29 melacha is trapping. So if birds is out, so you're not allowed to put it back in the cage. Right? So that's the issue. So you cannot open the door completely. So if you open the door, so it may come out. So like you partially open the door, like put your hand, put some food. If you can put the food from top, it would be of course preferable. And that's how we feed the bird on Shabbos.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
And the last question, for the fast tomorrow, are we allowed to taste the food, taste the Shabbat food?
That's a very good question. So actually, because it's for honor of Shabbos, so taste it and spit it out. It's actually in we made this what is it? Shabbos checklist. That's a Shabbos checklist clips, right? And I think I don't remember what part is it, that cook food and taste it. So you must taste all of the food before the Shabbos starts. It's one of the obligation. Maybe it's undercooked, maybe it's overcooked, maybe it's over salted or something like, and you cannot fix it. So meaning what, that you must, if you have enough time, you must cook something else. Absolutely, yeah. Okay.
That was the last one. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So basically, yeah. So if you're going to spit out and you're not going to swallow, you're not obligated to say the blessing on what you're tasting, right? Because it's not going to go down your throat, and it's not for any pleasure, but only to make sure that there are enough of the ingredients. Okay. So let's stop here. Any other questions, or that's it?
Rabbi, just a quick additional question on now. There's an opinion, or there was a teaching, I believe it's in the shop, that says about how a house is to be built, how many feet between the door and the front window, and from like the front window to the hallway to the bathroom and things like that. I was wondering, how come houses are not currently structured the way that's mentioned? How come homes aren't built to those standards in modern day?
No, I'm not sure if I need to look exactly what it says here, but in many cases, what we learn about the structure of the houses, I think it's from Baba Basra, when it says like it's about damages, right? So that the neighbors, he can open the window, cannot open the window, so because he's going to intrude into somebody's privacy, and how his door is going to wherever he can place the door and stuff like that. He can be protrusion of the house, this, what is it, the drain water, like all of these things. But today the houses where we live, they're built differently. So it's not like I mean, if you're going to build your house from scratch, you can build it any way you want. I mean, of course, it has to comply with the government standards. But today we just buy apartments or rent apartments or whatever is available. Okay. Okay. What else? All right. So let's stop here.
I will send you an email with the copy of the Torah portion or the shop that we were reading from that.
Okay. No problem.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Okay, you're welcome. So, okay, so thank you very much. So today is Thursday. I wish everybody good Shabbos and meaningful fasts, and meaningful meaning that Beis Hamikdash is still not there, right? And we always, as our sages tell us, that if Beis Hamikdash is not built in this generation, it's like it was demolished in this generation. So if it's not built, it's our fault. The whole nation's in the fault, right? And we have to, as Rabbi Reuven Shlita says, we have to pick up a notch. So you do a lot, so you do a little more, and you do more, so you do a little more. So if we would do enough, all of us, the Beis Hamikdash would be there. And we know that not everybody absorbs, so we have to do for us and for other brethren. Okay. So I wish everybody good Shabbos, and Baruch Hashem, we had a very successful week. We did overtime cover many topics. Baruch Hashem, and we're going to make a clips from all of these questions, Beezrat Hashem, and we hope that public is going to appreciate it, they like, and they would find educational, and it's going to answer the questions. So I get one last thing. I get one comment. So he said, the guy said, I have a question. So like on one video we released today. At the end, he said, I got the answer. I got the answer to my question at the end of the video. It's very interesting, right? So somebody, and I checked the video. The video is from 3 years ago. 3 years? No, it's not from. I apologize. From 2 years ago. Okay, we just did post a clip. Very interesting. All right. So thank you very much. Good Shabbos until Monday. Beezrat Hashem, same time. Thank you.